Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ban This, the show where I take a look at a piece of art and make a stupid, ridiculous argument as to why some stupid, ridiculous people would think it'd be a good idea to either outright ban it or at least make some good choice cuts. Today, I've got a Steve Reeves movie, an Ed Wood film, also, Jailbait. So, what's so bad about this film? Well, this is a noir. So, and going with the plot line, this could inspire somebody to try to do something similar. You know, committing a crime and then using, plastic surgery to reconstruct their face as to somebody else. So as a way to get away with scot-free and to frame somebody else. So, and now I'll talk a little bit about the rest of the film. So, I'm going to talk about the Hays Code. This film's from 1954, and it pretty much follows the Hays Code. And one of the defining traits of film noir comes directly as a result of this form of cinematic government. So one of the rules is that if somebody commits a crime, they cannot get away with it. Although one could argue, like somebody could watch the film and is like, okay, I won't make those mistakes. I can be inspired by this, of, the facial reconstruction, but make sure I do it differently so I don't fall trap. So the point of that code, of that particular rule is, to kind of give you like an idea of crime doesn't pay, and as a way to detour people from mimicking what's in the film. But they seem to overlook that it could just mean looking at it as like a what not to do manual instead of a what to do manual. Sort of like, let's say, the book, 1984. Now, it's been generally, most people consider it to be a warning as to what this type of government could do and what it could be like. But there seem to be some people that they actually kind of treat as like a manual of let's run the government this way. It's like, even Hillary Clinton herself kind of said something along that line. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she did say something along the lines of, it would, the events in that book wouldn't have ended that way if he had just followed the government and not rebelled. People wanted to vote for her. So yeah, anyways, what do I actually think about this film? This seems to be one of Ed Wood's most underlooked films of his main filmography. He's done quite a bit of things. Some of it's lost, some of it's just being rediscovered. But of his main filmography of this, Glen or Glenda, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Bride of the Monster, Night of the Ghouls. I think that might be the other one. This is his most underlooked one. And it's kind of one of his most unique, because, like I said before, this is generally a film noir. So it doesn't really have any much sci-fi elements. This facial reconstruction kind of could, there are some liberties taken with it. It's kind of a neat idea, and it's something that I thought about for a story as well. But and considering, there's no special effects or anything, so and not much for any spectacular set. It takes place mostly in buildings, so you don't get any of the things that people associate with things like Plan 9, horrible special effects and extreme set failures. But there is some of the signature Ed Woodian dialogue in this film, so you do have that at least. This film isn't bad. It's not my favorite Ed Wood. That's Glen or Glenda, and it's not quite as memorable in its ineptitude as something like Plan 9 or something like that. But it's an interesting piece of Ed Wood history. So if you have any respect for the guy, which I think people should have respect, just going out making the films by any means necessary is something that, something I think is to be respected. Even if they're not, even the worst filmmaker I have respect for because they went out and made their own damn movie. That's something I haven't done yet, but I want to. But I haven't, but they did. So I have so much respect for that. It's a neat little idea. It's got an interesting storyline. Does fall flat in some places, but it's interesting for what it is. So I could recommend that check it out. If you don't mind, just don't go into expecting something that's high art. Don't expect a masterpiece. And it might ultimately be a bit more forgettable than something like Plan 9 or Glen or Glenda. So that's about it for this one. If you have a film you'd like me to do in the future, let me know in the comments below and hit me up. And mine's BitChute Stardust. Stop bitching! Subscribe if you want. I won't stop you. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. God bless. God bless.